So a couple of times a week I get an email asking A, how did you become a Fuji X photographer, and B, how do I become a Fuji X photographer? So let's chat about that. A couple of years ago I picked up a Fuji X Pro 1, and during that time the Camera Store TV, which does all the reviews here in Calgary, good friends of mine called me up and said, hey, you know, we've got this Fuji X-E2 new camera that's coming out, would you be interested in shooting a video with us? And so I thought, you know, what the hell, sounds like fun. Went, shot the video, didn't really think anything of it. But shortly after that, Fuji actually contacted me and said, hey, you know, we saw the video you did with the Camera Store, we went and checked out your website, we really like your work, and we'd be interested in working with you. We've got this new program, it's the Fuji X Photographers. They name dropped a couple of the more, you know, big names within the program, Zach Arias, David Hobby, Benjamin Von Wong, people like that. And basically just said, you know, what we're looking to build is a group of photographers who use our equipment professionally that we can, you know, rely on for feedback on different things we can do to make these cameras better as, you know, time goes on. And so to hear that and turn it down, well, that would probably be pretty stupid. So I just wanted to clear up a quick few things about the Fuji X program and what it is and what it isn't. I feel like there's this common misconception that I am somehow on Fuji's payroll and that, you know, they're paying me to say good things about their product. Now the thing is I was using Fuji prior to them contacting me and me ever having any knowledge of this Fuji X program. That's the reason they contacted me, is because I already used their product and they wanted to know different things that they could do to make it better. So I just want to make it abundantly clear, I do not get paid to say good shit about Fuji. Number two, one of the other things I wanted to touch on is that I feel like a lot of people think that Fuji X photographers are given all of their gear. This is not the case. There is, you know, special Fuji X photographer pricing. Yes, it's better than retail. No, it's not even remotely close to free. Full disclaimer, yes, I have been given gear by Fuji as a thank you for some of the projects I've worked on with them. But, you know, for the most part, being involved in the Fuji X photographer program, it guarantees you better pricing than what you're gonna pay in the store, but, you know, you're not getting a bag of gear for free. Number three, I'm not required to shoot exclusively Fuji. I'm a photographer. I grab whatever gear fits the job best. Sometimes that's Fuji, sometimes that's Nikon. Whatever I need, that's what I use. There's no stipulation to being a part of this program that says I have to sell all of my other stuff and be a strictly Fuji photographer. Okay, so let's get into some of the perks. So yesterday I actually ran out of time while shooting the video. Just finished doing some work here in the studio. We're gonna continue from here. One of the things that makes this whole Fuji X Photographer program work, and it was something that I really inquired about when they asked me to be a part of it, was that they rely on us to be honest. They want us to let them know what works, to let them know what sucks so that they can make it better. The whole point of this program is for Fuji to, you know, have assistance by people who are using their cameras in the field to make a camera that makes them want to pick up that camera and take it with them for whatever job that they're doing. That's awesome. So the creation of this program as a whole, in my mind, is pretty much genius. I don't know what, I know that Nikon has ambassadors and stuff like that, but I don't know how much input the people who are part of that program have. Whereas I can pick up the phone and I can call the people at Fuji and say, listen, this is what I think would be awesome. What do you guys think? And we can bounce ideas back and forth. It's very collaborative, and that is very cool. So Fuji is also now a client of mine. When they have different products like the 56mm 1.2, the 56mm APD, the X Pro 2, things like that, they call me up. They say, listen, we have a product that we need sample images for. Would you like to shoot it? Here's budget. Make something, don't care what. Just make it, have fun, make it awesome. Best client ever. With that being said, when I do the write-ups on my blog and stuff like that, when I do the little bits of review and everything like that, I'm not a camera reviewer, but you know, when I give my insights onto, you know, how something reacted, whether or not I liked it, that's all on me. Fuji does not pay for any of that. That's just something that's, you know, me extending the olive branch to people who are, you know, curious about the new gear that's coming down the line. And finally, Fuji does have it set up so that if there's some sort of specialty lens that I need, like the 100 to 400, something along those lines that I don't actually own, they'll throw it in a box. It'll show up at my doorstep a day or two later. When I'm done with it, I'll throw it back in the box, send it back to them, and it's all at no charge. So they do make sure that we have the gear that we need for these jobs as they arise. All right, enough talk about what it is and what it isn't. Let's talk about how you get in. This actually says photographer. Full-time professional photographer. The term professional photographer, it's never really sat well with me. There's no real indicator of who's a pro and who isn't. But for the most part, I think it's just that, you know, for someone like me, I've made my entire living solely off photography for the last 8 years. It's what provides for myself and my family, you know, pays for the roof over our head and all that type of thing. So they want people who, you know, are using these cameras in order to make their living. Uses Fuji gear as part of their job. I think that one's pretty straightforward. And good social media presence. Again, obviously kind of straightforward. I don't really have, you know, a large social media presence by any means. At the time of making this video on Instagram, I have probably just over like 4,000 people, and on Facebook I'm probably like getting up to 4,000 people. I don't know, I don't really have that big social media following, but I try to engage with the people who, you know, comment on my work and ask me questions and stuff as much as possible. And having the smaller following actually is beneficial to that. I think, you know, if I ever, you know, somehow ended up being like Chris Burkhardt or something like that, where he's got over 1 million people on Instagram, you can't keep up to that. You know, there's no way to have a conversation. So, you know, there's pluses and minuses to both. I think by good social media presence, it's not so much about how many people you have, but what you actually contribute to the whole social media thing as a whole. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If you guys have any other questions, use the comments box below. I'll answer what I can. There's also a subscribe button there. Outside of that, I never really know how to end a video. Seriously, I have no idea how to end this video, so